All right, let's jump right in. We're going to break down a totally new playbook for real estate pros today. It's a system that's not just about getting seen, it's about building real, lasting relevance in a market that, let's be honest, changes by the minute.
And that quote just hits the nail on the head, doesn't it? Every single day, you're fighting to be heard over this just wall of sound. It's not just part of the job anymore, it is the job. I mean, think about it. One day, interest rates are looking good, and the next, poof, the whole game has changed. What buyers wanted last month feels like a distant memory today. But you know what moves even faster than the market? People's attention. One little tweak to a social media algorithm, one new shiny object, and suddenly it feels like you're shouting into the void. Staying top of mind is a constant uphill battle.
So here's the big takeaway from all that. Just being seen isn't the win anymore. The real challenge, the real goal, is being remembered. It's being the first person someone thinks of the second they need help. That, right there, is the difference between just being visible and being truly relevant.
So here's how we're going to unpack this. First, we'll talk about something called the relevance trap. Then we'll get into a whole new philosophy of engagement. See how this engine actually works in the real world. Talk about how you can scale it up. And finally, wrap up with why the human touch is your ultimate secret weapon. All right, let's start with the big problem, this trap that so many agents, even the absolute best ones, fall into. And that's the struggle to keep real connections going when there isn't a deal on the table.
You know this feeling, right? After a while, every just checking in email sounds robotic. Every ad looks like every other ad. Your follow-ups start to feel, well, transactional, not relational. And slowly but surely, those hard-won relationships just start to fade away.
Which really brings us to the million-dollar question. In a business that is built from the ground up on trust, how do you actually build connections that survive past closing day? How do you stay relevant when there's nothing to sell? Well, the answer starts with a really fundamental shift in how we think about this. It's about stopping the old way of just marketing at people and starting a new model of truly engaging with them.
Let's look at it like this. Old school marketing is all about interrupting someone's day to chase a transaction. But engagement, that's totally different. Engagement is about earning trust and building a real relationship first. And that, my friends, makes all the difference.
This whole philosophy is at the heart of what's called the SDM engagement engine. And look, this is not just another marketing tool or some complicated funnel. It's better to think of it as a pathway, a system designed from the ground up to build genuine trust and value way before anyone's even thinking about real estate. Now here's where it gets really interesting. The starting point for this whole thing, it's not a market report or a list of comps. It's a children's literacy initiative, usually built around a really cool shareable storybook. It completely changes the conversation from "what can I sell you" to something built on a common cause that people actually care about. Okay, so enough with the theory. Let's get into the nuts and bolts of how this engine actually works. Because it's not a one-trick pony. It's this incredibly flexible platform you can use in so many powerful ways. This one little book becomes this amazing multi-purpose tool. It gives you a perfect non-salesy reason to call up your past clients and cold leads. It's a trackable way to get real people to show up at your open houses, and because it's so shareable, it naturally creates referral loops and generates authentic social media content. You get all these new touch points from a single value-packed gift.
And you can take it even further. By partnering up with local schools, nonprofits, or other community groups, you can really cement your place in the community. You stop being just another salesperson and become a genuine, visible contributor at a true grassroots level.
The whole digital side of this lives in something called the engagement room. Think of it as a private, safe online space where families can share their experience with the book. For you, the agent, it creates this incredible organic visibility and yet another positive touch point, all without a single ounce of sales pressure.
Now I know what all the brokers and team leads watching are thinking. Okay, this sounds great, but can it scale? The answer is a resounding yes. Let's talk about how this whole framework is designed to grow with you.
And this is the real beauty of it for a growing business. It's not about juggling 5 different complicated campaigns. It's one framework. So if you have 5 listings, you can launch 5 unique community engagement hubs all at once. The momentum just builds on itself without creating a workflow nightmare.
The relationship doesn't end when the papers are signed. Post-sale, you can give a white-labeled version of that same storybook. Now think about that. It's not a business card that gets lost or a magnet that gets tossed. It's a gift that lives on a bookshelf in the home, acting as a silent, passive marketing tool for years to come.
So let's tie this all together. Why is an approach that's so focused on human connection so incredibly powerful right now, especially when the world is obsessed with automation and AI?
Here's the bottom line. AI is amazing at churning out content, but it absolutely cannot create genuine trust. In fact, with all the AI and digital gatekeepers out there now, it's getting harder and harder to even reach a decision maker. This approach is designed to slice right through all of that noise. It starts a conversation based on a shared value, a common cause, not a product you're pushing. That is how you build relevance that lasts.
When you boil it all down, the engine is so effective for a really simple reason. It ties your business goals directly to things people already value deeply. You're not trying to convince them to care. You're meeting them where they already are, connecting on what really matters to them. And that leaves us with one final big question to chew on. As our industry gets more crowded, more automated, and more competitive, could it be that the single biggest advantage we have isn't about better tech, but about finding better ways to be more human? Something to think about.